Go ahead, put it on real tight. Hope you brought your best tonight. They say they got the fireworks, yeah, they say they got the show. You're around the shoots, you're the best, so let's go.
This is Texas Toast. I'm your host, Miss Helen. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best from Texas.
Okay, it's time for another episode of Texas Toast, and this is kind of our bottoms up series where we dig into the music industry. And one of my favorite, I guess, jobs in the music business is a tour manager's position, because you do so much. And so we want to welcome Shelton Wallace, who is Jon Stork's tour manager, to the show. And Kyle, I believe you had another introduction for him.
Yeah, we call him the Lavender Stallion over on the back end of things.
Okay, and what's so cool about this is Kyle is in with us on this episode of Bottoms Up. So Shelton, I just want to tell you that you do so much. I mean, you go from arranging travel plans, all the things you do, working the stage, and like tour managers were always my go-to and my heroes when I was in radio. I think I learned more about stage etiquette at music festivals from tour managers.
Yeah, probably so.
So let's just talk about when you're getting, let's say it's midweek and you're getting ready to do some Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows. What does that entail for you just before you even get to the venue?
Well, as soon as we get a contract in, we're already advancing the show. So I'll email the venue and get information and kind of arrange everything way before a week in advance, just so that our guys can have a schedule 1 to 2 weeks in advance. And so, so we do that 2 weeks before. So like, if we have a show on a Friday, I'm doing it like literally 2 weeks before that to get everyone on schedule. And the day of a show, just because you have a schedule going doesn't mean you're going to be going by that schedule. So things change up, but we make the best of it and it works.
That's where you have to be so flexible. So then once you get to the venue, talk about all the different aspects that you have, not only dealing with the band, but the people at the venue, and especially if it's one of the big music festivals.
Well, if it's at a smaller place, it's obviously a little easier. There's fewer people to talk to. But when you're at a festival, like, you'll have 10 people that you have to talk to that do completely different jobs. And that can get a little hectic, but it's just simple. I mean, just if you're just nice, most people will just help you. And it works out. So as long as you're nice, like, there's no worries.
Well, and with that smile that you have, I mean, I'm sure it's like you just kind of roll with it. I could tell you're pretty easygoing. And so as far as your logistics, once you start setting up with the band.
So all of our guys kind of, like when we're loading in, we all kind of help prep the stage and get everything going. And I actually don't do a lot of stage work. Our guys are super fast and efficient, so I actually do pretty minimal stage work. When they're loading in, I'm setting up merch for us. So that's what I'm doing. And then I don't do nothing with sound check, really. We have a great production manager, and he takes care of all of the sound.
So you do a lot of like basically liaison between maybe committee members, venue, the people that booked, media as well.
Yeah. So like if we have a radio single out, things get a little different. Like you have to schedule when we're driving through tons of towns that have radio stations. So we'll plan stops. When you're playing shows, you don't always have time to just dedicate a radio tour. So your radio tour combines to whatever's going on with the weekend. So we'll do a couple radio stops, then load in, then sound check, then do something locally with the radio, or as simple as just recording a video, and we'll post it on the social media after we sound checked.
So what's some of your most memorable moment? Well, first of all, how did you become a tour manager? How did you, like, did it just happen, or was it something you always wanted to do?
So I went to an audio engineering trade school, and there was a music business portion that talked about a road manager or tour manager. And I thought that was interesting, but I didn't learn about it until Kyle kind of told me that was a role. And I actually learned a lot initially from Kyle. And he was kind of like, Kyle and I played in a band previous to me not playing music anymore.
Can you see that?
And that's funny.
That's a guitar pick from me and Shelton's old band.
Oh, okay.
So
I just found it.
Kyle played drums in my old band, and he was kind of our tour manager too. He and booking agent. He booked a lot of our shows, and he did like all the logistics for everything. So when I got interested into doing that, I kind of just looked at all of the old templates that he had. He made spreadsheets for when we went on runs.
Shut up, Kyle.
Yeah,
I always call him
great.
my little overachiever.
Yeah. So, and I it's funny, I still have one of our spreadsheets. We went and did like a little East Coast run. We went to Florida and Georgia and, like, all the Southeast. And I at first I would look at his logistics template for that run, and that kind of helped me get started.
So what was in the spreadsheet?
It would be like approximate, he would be like approximate mileage that we'd be driving, how many gallons of gas we were going to burn, what times we had to be at certain places, how many days we were going to be gone, and just pretty much everything you could think of. There was a food budget, like how much he thought we would spend on food, not how much, you never know how much merch you're going to sell, but we didn't really have much merch anyways. But I think there was a merch thing in that spreadsheet as well. And that was kind of my template at first. Until I started. I was going
to say, just to go back to what Helen said, definitely overachieving, because you in your career as a tour manager have far surpassed me. And it's funny because instead of adding more to that, you've cut it back. So a bunch of that stuff's not actually in your spreadsheets these days because it's not really necessary.
Yeah, to a point. Like, I just have a couple templates, and that stuff's not really necessary. But he was doing more than a tour manager.
I think we were just excited.
We were just really excited to do whatever we were doing. We had a ton of fun though. I wouldn't have traded it for anything.
So real quick, Helen, sorry if you have a question. I just wanted to get this out there. You were mentioning some things earlier, Shelton. I wanted you to just kind of like describe in more detail the terms. So you talked about advancing a show, and you kind of like laid that out, like what that means as far as reaching out, in advance and just confirming all the details.
That's a lot of work.
But then can you kind of describe, I don't think you said the word, but what a day sheet is, and kind of like how that relates to, or I guess why you make those and what they include?
So we make day sheets. It's not only just to go for our schedule. So on our day sheet, sometimes there's the mileage that we're going to be driving, and this is just so in 6 months from now or a year from now, we can just add up the mileage that we drove to for any reason that we need to. That's on there. The venue address is on there. The hotel address is on there. What else is on there? Where we're going from and going to, that's on the day sheet. And they're important just so, we put them in an app, and everyone in the van can look at it and see what what they like. They know, for instance, band calls at 7 a.m. It takes us 4 hours to get somewhere, and then our load in is at 1. So they have an hour and a half to get food, so they can get lunch before our load in. Then they can also plan their workouts. A lot of our guys like to go to the gym on the road, so they plan their workouts after sound checks, in between sound check and whenever we have to come back to the venue. So that's kind of why we have them. As long as the guys are where they need to be when we need them there, they can go do whatever they want to do. And that's kind of how we do it. That's not how everyone does it, but it's kind of how we do it.
And can you tell me what that like app or program that you're using to kind of like communicate that to all the guys?
So we use a free app. It's called Band, and there's so many features within the app. We don't use it to its full potential, but basically, we have our band, and the members are in there, and they can just go to the calendar and see the schedules that we have, and they can see the day sheets from there. There's a ton of features, and I don't know all about that app, but it's a great app and it's free.
And that might make it easier for bands that, don't necessarily have the budget for a tour manager just yet to kind of do these things on their own, right? So another thing that, so I had never really thought about this, but like you mentioned almost like the accounting side of the day sheets and stuff. And it's kind of interesting how like that's a big role of the tour manager that I'm kind of piecing together right now as I've been doing this for a little while. Like you're overseeing all the costs, cash inflow, going in and out, all the, you're settling the show every night. You're, tallying the merch, doing the inventory for all that. You're calculating the miles and gas money spent. So that's, is that something like you kind of expected when you originally took the job?
Yeah. I mean, only because, that's just what, I guess I didn't expect that, but I just assumed that that's what you kind of did. So it wasn't a shock when I had to start doing it, But I don't, we have a lot of help. Everyone. Jon is very hands-on, and I don't always do the merch inventory count. He does it. His wife will. Everyone helps out. So. Maybe that's why I have a really easy job, actually, because I do have so much help.
Yeah, you got a good team. So essentially the role is just kind of like jump in and help wherever you can. That's what I've experienced, and it seems like that's kind of what you're happy to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's just basic things like, whoever needs help, I'm there to help them. And
right.
That's kind of what I do.
Nice. And
I drive a lot. I drive a ton. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy driving. I don't drive the whole time, but when I get tired, like I'll let other people drive, and it's too dangerous to drive while you're tired. So
absolutely,
I drive probably, I don't know, a little bit more than 50% of the time. And it's fun. You see a lot of cool stuff when we're going up to South Dakota or to Wyoming and back down, and you see some really pretty sights. So I think that's why I enjoy driving. It's easy to kind of fall asleep if you're sitting in the back. And so I think the main reason why I like to drive is because I can't fall asleep and I get to see it all.
Yep. So that's kind of a nice segue into, the more personal side of this interview. I imagine, a couple of our friends are listening, and for those of y'all listening, me and Shelton go way back. We've been really close friends for almost probably a decade now, writing songs together. We actually went to high school together, oddly enough, but we weren't really close until afterwards, whenever we kind of got together and started making some music. But everybody that knows you love driving and you love traveling. And so that's another thing that kind of pulled me into wanting to do that, is just getting to be on the road all the time and getting to see cool stuff as you're passing by. And one thing that I really like about tour managing is, especially now that, we're doing this like kind of Texas country thing, and it's like you get to go to the same city a couple times a year and you always see something new because you get these short little glimpses of the place, you know, and it's to me that's so fascinating, you know. I guess it's it's the complete opposite of how normal people travel. So it's I don't know.
Yeah. So like yeah. I mean, most people don't go to Abilene to vacation. And so but Abilene is like one of my favorite places. Now that we've been going quite a few times, I love the Abilene Zoo and getting to go tour it. We've gone twice to the zoo now, and they let us feed the rhino. Like we've given the rhino watermelon. Like none of my family's ever fed a rhino.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a story to tell.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's just an interesting way of seeing and experiencing life. It's like it all comes so fast that it's like, how long can I keep this up? But I know you and me both feel like you could just do it forever at this point. So it's interesting.
I really do feel like I could do it forever.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one does everything forever, but I'm gonna do it as long as I can.
Yeah,
for sure.
So tell me a little bit about like your personal life. Like how, I mean, I know you're like Helen mentioned earlier, you know, you got that inviting smile, and I know you got endless friends. I know a ton of them, but like, how do you manage the, you know, cause like, I know Jon's schedule and you guys are gone every single weekend for the most part. Like what happens if you need to, you know, not necessarily just like take a day off, but like if you need to be somewhere not with Jon and Jon has a show, what happens?
Well, you know, when you take on a role like this, or in the entertainment industry at all, you miss funerals, you miss weddings, you miss birthdays, and that's something that some people don't understand. But that's what we have to do. Like, we have these dreams, and that's something that you have to do. You have to miss some things. And I saw a weird side of this. I was in Las Vegas when I was like 13, and I went with some of my uncle's friends to see Daughtry play. Awesome. And we went to Mandalay Bay to see Daughtry, of all people. The interesting part of this show was that halfway through the set, they mentioned that the bass player's mother passed away that morning, and he was there to play the show. And that always kind of stuck with me because I was like, wow, like I'm really close to my mom, so I couldn't have fathomed playing a show or, you know, being away after something tragic. So yeah, that just kind of stuck with me until now, where I see it. You're gone 250 to 350 days a year. So we're not gone that much, but the balance of seeing people, you just see people when you see people. I try to see my mom once a week, or when I'm home. She's the first person I go see. Then the second person or people, I go see my uncles. And then after I've done that, then I'll try to make time for my friends.
You take requests, first come, first serve.
Yeah, it is. And I think all my friends, they've noticed, like we schedule time, like, oh, you're going to be home this day. Well, we can do something one of those nights, like we can have dinner. And they know that I don't like going. My family and my friends know I hate going out to dinner because I'm on the road all the time. So I like home cooked meals when I'm at home.
Oh, I can imagine.
And so I like to come to their house and eat something there. And at first it was kind of difficult, obviously, but now it's kind of relaxing. Like, you don't always have to. I'm always gone, so
right. I
mean, they're living their life, I'm living my life, and you know, when I see people, we pick up where we left off. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I remember that transition period whenever, you know, you started working with Jon, which was how long ago? When did you start working with him?
I went full time the beginning of 2020.
Okay. So over
but
2 years full time now.
yeah, but my first show was in July of 2019. And I was like, okay, well, I sold merch for him.
Right.
Our bass player now, he was running sound for Jon, and he was like, hey, like, I know we actually worked at Guitar Center together, and he was like, hey man, this guy's good. He's really good. Come sell merch and see if you like it. I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to find my way in.
Right.
And so sold merch. I was like, okay, this is cool. And then they had me come out a couple more times, and then I was like, hey dude, I'm in, man. Like I'll sell merch full time. And then some of the people were talking about them needing a tour manager, and I was like, I should say something. I was like, I could do it. I think they'd be willing to like let me grow and you know, help me out. And so I said, hey, like if you're really looking for a tour manager, I want to throw my name in the hat. And luckily they drew my name.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Me.
And it's
but,
funny.
I mean, I'm not perfect or anything. Like we've gone through a lot of crazy stuff, but
right.
They kept me around.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously doing the job well. I know how much Jon, appreciates what you do. And yeah, no, it's interesting how, I guess I can imagine from the outside looking in, even when we were younger, you look at these things and you start to notice like the production level of events and just things like that. And it's like, oh, these guys are all so cool and so serious. It's like, I might be more of a stiff dude than you on the outside. You're just a bubbly little corn dog loving dude, right? But I don't know. It's just so funny how most of the tour managers that we come across end up just being, a friend of somebody in the band, and they're just willing to fill those gaps. And then it becomes this serious, you make it sound like it's easy, but it's not. It's not an easy job in any means, like you're essentially day-to-day managing a 7-person company, I mean, I know that that's a little broad, but you do a lot of stuff, man. You're busy all the time. I wanted to go back to, you were talking about, our dreams, we're chasing our dreams. And I know that you have, outside of, not that you don't love tour managing, but outside of that, I know that you have a dream. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, which ones? I love real estate. Yeah, I love a lot of different things. I love music, obviously, and I love dirt bikes. I write songs for fun. As time goes on, I don't think I'm gonna be a hit songwriter or anything, but I'll write songs for myself, and people like them. I mean, you liked one, you're probably gonna record one, so that's cool.
Yeah, you're downplaying the hell out of that. You've written some incredible songs, man, and I know I'm not the only person who's told you that.
Yeah, I mean, I just just because I write songs doesn't mean I'm a songwriter though. Like I listen to how these people write songs, and they beautifully craft these songs, and they just write them. They just have all these ideas and just write them so bam, bam, like line after line, and I don't have the same writing process as those people. Doesn't mean I can't write a song. I think good or bad is subjective, right? It's art.
Of course. So, and you're definitely your hardest critic.
Absolutely. It's very odd because I went from playing in the band with you, and then kind of stopped that because I didn't like it anymore. I didn't like performing. And so I don't know, but I'll jump on the stage every once in a while. I played a song with you at Do-Si-Do, and that was pretty cool to come out of retirement.
And we get to play your song. And I know you've played some other fill-in gigs too over the past couple of years. Obviously it's got to be hard, like we were talking about with making time for friends and family. It's hard to, do your own music, especially if you want to hop on stage every now and then while you have this job. But yeah, man, you had some great songs, Shelton.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I'll go play open mic every once in a while. Like if we're home on a Tuesday, I'll go and play an open mic, and I don't really tell anyone about it. Just couple of my close friends come, and we have fun, and we talk about because we used to play open mics for practice, and now we're just doing it out of I think a bit of nostalgia, just remembering old times. But
Right.
we all we don't have to, like, we understand that now. Like, we know how to go get a gig or put a band together and play a real show, and we don't have to play the open mic. I think we used to play open mics a lot because we didn't know how to do any of that stuff.
Dude, I remember whenever I was living in Austin, I felt like I was driving back to Houston twice a week to go play an open mic in the Houston area with you.
Yeah.
And it was a blast.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And but then we learned how to book a show.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And,
I still feel like it's testing the waters. Like you said, it's not necessarily as much practice these days, but it's still, it's a good way to. It's like, think of comedians. It's like testing a joke on the crowd. You get to play a new song and see how people respond and what they have to say about it afterwards. And that kind of helps you mold the song or, to decide if it's good or not,
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Like, I'll play a new song at an open mic, and if no one reacts, okay, that song probably sucks.
Yeah.
But if if they kind of react good or give you compliments, and hey, it's good. And I actually like it when they think a song sucks, because it makes you, not every song's good, so I actually like it when there's minimal reaction. I'd rather them tell me my song sucks than lie to my face and tell me it's good.
I can tell you, I've played many open mics and shows with you, and I've never heard anyone ever tell you that any of your songs are less than really good. So I would agree. Okay, well, let's wrap this thing up, man. Are you, what shows are you guys looking forward to? Is there anything cool that y'all have on the calendar? I know you've been, traveling. Like you said, y'all recently were up in like South Dakota, and you were in Kansas, and you had a Chicago date, and you're always in Nashville. Anything cool that you're really looking forward to?
Man, there's too many that I'm looking forward to. This year we already went to Wisconsin and Illinois and in Indiana, and so I'm just looking forward to the states we're going to check off again this year. And that I don't know where all we're going to be, but we're going to be some cool places this year for sure.
So how many more states do you need to mark off all 50?
I still have quite a few, actually. I need to go to the upper east part of the country to do the 48, not including Alaska, Hawaii. But I still need to go to Maine, Rhode Island, Delaware, New York, a lot of those states up there. And then in the West, I need to go to Oregon and Washington.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I've hit a lot of them. Either, going with your old band, that's the first time I checked off, like Arizona and
West Coast. Yep.
And all. Yeah.
Same for me.
So that was fun. But yeah, no, I don't know. The goal, I think, this year is to go to 30 states. So looking forward to it. I think we'll hit it.
Lofty goal for most. I don't think that's going to be difficult for you guys at all.
Yeah,
all right.
No, I don't think so either. We go after it. Once we set it, we go after it. We got a great team. Our booking agent is awesome.
I was just gonna say, it seems like Red 11's killing it for you guys.
Yeah, man, Jeff really is awesome, and it's a cool person to talk to. If there's anything going on, he really helps a lot of situations out, and he works really hard for us. So it doesn't work without, not one person makes it move.
Okay. I like it, man. All right. A couple more quick rapid fire questions because we're running out of time here. How did you get the nickname Lavender Stallion? Why do they call you that?
I plead the fifth.
Man, that's the worst answer. Okay, I'll skip that one for now. We might have to come back to it. If you had any advice for anybody in the industry that's, maybe not, or anybody who loves music the way we do, but isn't maybe a, musician, or that's not their passion, but they want to get involved, how would you suggest they go about trying to find which lane in the, the business side of the industry that they fit in?
Yeah. So, there are a ton of jobs that revolve around music that don't require you to play music. You can be a graphic designer. You can design merch. So within a graphic designer, you can design merchandise, logos, all different types of content. Just being a graphic designer,
which is extremely important these days. Yeah.
That's a huge thing. You can do photography. Live photography is kind of different than you taking a portrait of a flower,
right. Absolutely.
So it's kind of exciting. Then two, you can make videos. You can film videos and do that. That's another job in the industry. Selling merch is a job. There's tons of merch people in the industry that they just sell merchandise.
Yep.
And they do a great job at it. There's also stage managing. There's production managing. There's audio engineering. You can do a ton of different things. There's tour managing. There's bus driving.
So what would you tell somebody that came up to you and were like, hey, I see that you're a tour manager. I don't really know what I want to do, but how should I, involve myself? What should I do to kind of help me figure that out?
Well, I ask them what do they like. So depending on what they like, that's how you can get
help narrow it down.
Yeah, right. So because like you saying I like music, well, my mom likes music, but she sells plastic. So
right.
like,
of course,
that it's not. Just because you like music doesn't mean you're gonna. That doesn't narrow it down enough.
Well, of course, I'm just saying somebody, because like the amount of people that I interact with on a daily basis, almost, that has that passion and motivation to want to be involved in the music industry and have a career in it. It's like, look at us. We're both 27 now, and we've been working on this for a long time. So yeah. I don't know. I just was kind of curious what you would say. But I think it really does kind of come back to what you were saying at the very beginning. Just be nice, like be as helpful as you can. Obviously, you only have so much time, so it's not like you can just mentor someone all day long. But I think that just being nice to people is the key there. And the amount of people that we interact with that aren't nice it's kind of insane to me. But unfortunately, it's real. And maybe it's because a lot of people get bitter in the industry. I'm not sure, but
I'm not sure either. I mean, we haven't made it to that part because we're still so young. Even though
of course,
we have been doing this since high school, which is crazy to think about it. If you had told me in 10th grade that I would actually be doing something, I'd be like, awesome, I actually did it.
So thanks for joining us, dude. We really appreciate it. It looks like we lost Helen somewhere in the interview. I bet her internet's down with all the crazy weather going on. But I just wanted to say thanks again, man. Your come up story is real cool. Obviously, I know the nitty gritty a little more than everybody else, but I'm glad we got to share this story. And the last question I want to ask, and I've always wanted to ask this because Helen always gets to, if you were a cocktail, what would you be?
I would just call it the Lavender Stallion. It'd be tequila and cranberry.
There we go. All right, bringing it back. Now you got to tell us the story, man.
Man, it's a long one. We don't have enough time.
Yeah, you're not lying. It's gonna run out on us. Okay, cool. Well, again, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. This was really fun. It's cool getting to kind of spearhead this conversation because we know each other, really well, and I'm sure Helen will enjoy listening to this. But is there anything that you want to plug? Anything that you want to tell the listeners before I let you go?
Come out and see a show. Follow Jon on all the social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and the guys have a really cool show. So just make sure you come and see it. I promise you guys won't be disappointed.
Awesome. And where can you find all the show dates and stuff?
On our website, bands in town, and all the social medias, you know, we post a flyer every week of where we'll be, and one kind of in the beginning of the month to showcase the whole month.
Perfect. All right, Shelton Wallace, everybody. Thanks for coming on, man.
See y'all later.
With a heavy tongue, she knew where I was from. As she left, I dared to say, well, you can go to hell. Hell, I'll go to Texas. I've had my fill of every place but home. Well, take away